welcome along, and this is my army list analysis series. If you remember, if you've been following my channel, I did start analysing armies in the game about 4 years ago, but I mainly did classical, Dark Ages and a bit of medieval. So a few of you have been asking me to do more videos and so on, and I thought, well, why don't I do and cover the Bronze Age stroke Iron Age period, because I didn't really cover that period before, and also there's a few other armies I've missed out elsewhere in medieval and a few others. So the TDC, our main league, is starting in about a month, so especially for new players, players who just want to have a look at what I think about the armies and also give your opinions. Please leave comments below, and maybe you don't agree with everything I say, because I'm not an expert on this period. So if there's anything I've missed, anything you want to add, please do make some comments, and we'll make this interactive and share our knowledge. I have started here with the Assyrian list, the 890 BC list. I think this is a pretty good list, and I'm going to go through why I think so. Remember also in the TDC there are no allies. So in my previous analysis from 3-4 years ago, a lot of those army lists were with allies. So this is just the base army, the same points, 1400 points, which is what we use in the league. So I think this will be most interesting for people. I'm following basically the format they're using in the league. Okay, so without further ado, let's have a look what we've got. We have got the mixed bow, the spearman and archer units. Good price, 44. I've gone for 15. I think that's a good number. And what I like about this particular army list, there's some other Assyrian lists as well on offer, because actually Bronze Age stroke Iron Age it goes from about, so almost 2,000 years, I think, it covers. So there's a lot of army lists available. But this particular list has these wonderful light chariots. Now, I think these are the killers, and I've maxed out. Now, I'm going to make some comments because of this map. I did a video before. There wasn't anything like this. And I couldn't think why. The way the points are, you know, there's not a lot of difference between the raw spearman and the normal spearman archer unit. There's only 12 points, so it's quite hard when you want to juggle points. When you think, oh, okay, why don't we get more of these guys? They're cheaper. But what it actually works out at is you need to take out 3 of the standard unit spearman archers to get 4 raw spearmen and archers, and you'd have 5 points over. It's just not worth it. And it's the same problem with the light chariots, because they're the same price. So if I took out 3 of the light chariots, I could only get 4 raw spearmen archer units. It doesn't really work out that well. Although, saying that, this kind of map where you've got this huge lake or sea or whatever you want to call it, covering a lot of the map, and then also you've got this stream. It's not a deep stream, but it's a stream. Then there's more argument, I think, for either taking out a few of these guys, light chariots, or your regular units, and adding more infantry. There's more of an argument in this kind of map, but this map is fairly rare because I've done actually a couple of videos when I was practicing, and I never got a map like this. So on your standard map, I would take this build or something close to it. It's also good to take skirmishers, I think, just because you just need a few. Because if there's enemy skirmishers, and you haven't got any of your own skirmishers, you're just wasting fire on them. So you need some counters. So I'd always recommend taking 2 or 3 at least. I'm a player who doesn't usually take loads of myself, but I think there's a minimum you need. Otherwise, you're just wasting fire, really. and they can get quite annoying. Also, in this period, there's a lot of protected at best, and if you do take raw units, what I would say for new players, don't put them together, because if one unit disrupts and breaks, you're going to get chain reaction, disruption and break. So try to spread out your raw units. That's what I would say, and then you can cover yourself easier. Really, the better players can use them well. You've got to be careful with these units, and because there's so many units that can fire. I mean, all my chariots have bow, my cavalry is mixed bow. Obviously, you've got the spearman archer units. It's just the rabble, really. Everything on my list can fire something, and that's the way it is in this period. That there's a lot of skirmishers, mixed bow units, and cavalry with bow and chariots with bow. So raw units, you have to be really careful. They're going to get cohesion checks quite often. I like the heavy chariots. For me, the ones with the bow are better than the spear. They might not be quite as good on impact, but once in melee, and obviously when they're shooting beforehand, do a lot of damage, superior quality, great. So I really like them. So I've taken 3 out. And I suppose there's an argument as well. If you want, what would it be? You could take out 2 of the light chariots and add a heavy. That would be all right. What would I have? That would be about 80. Yeah, so 88, and then I could add slinger. So that is actually something worth considering. You could take out 2 of the light chariots, add a heavy chariot, and slingers. I think that's a fair option, and maybe I might well do that in this kind of map. Something I'd consider. Okay, so that is about it. I am going in the next video to do another Assyrian list, maybe the 745 BC list and perhaps the 704 BC list, and just compare. But in a nutshell, it's these light chariots. Those army lists don't have access to these light chariots. So if you're good with light chariots, you like using them, this is the list to use, because the other lists, they don't have these light chariots, and they've just got cavalry, and they do have access to a couple of camel units and some light horse archers as well. So it's just what you prefer, really. But I am going to give this list my rating, and I'm going to start with an A. Now, we're only just starting out here, so I'll learn about the armies as we go. But I think about an A is a good mark for this army. We've got enough infantry at good price, mixed bow. We haven't used any raw units, and we've still got 15. We've got a ton of light chariots, 11. They're superior quality with bow. We've got 3 units of heavies, the heavy chariots, and some skirmishers. So I think it can do a lot of damage. So I'm going to go with an A. And let's see, I'm going to whack out a load of videos maybe before Christmas to help you decide on your armies for the TDC. And as I said before, any comments you want to make, leave them below. Okay? Thanks for watching. See you again soon.